Tommy Miller, the excellent shot-blocking defenseman's there. The center up the near boards, and it's tipped down into the Penn State zone by Brody Stevens. Out to play it, Oscar Audio whacks it into the near corner. Snell looks to feed it through to center. It bounces past McMenamin deep. No icing on the play, did not reach the goal line. Christian Krieger darts behind his goal, peels out, and now sprints out to center up the near boards, knifes the puck into the Penn State zone. Jimmy Dow Jr. slaps it from behind his goal up the far boards, but picked off there by Nicolas Mueller in the Penn State zone. Jagger Joshua side of the goal, stuffs it on once and twice, and Audio kicks the left pad out, denying at the near post. Penn State grabs the biscuit here, flying through center. Kevin Wall flips it across the Spartan line near wing. Dennis Sasana grabs the puck there, goes into the near corner, now behind his goal, and left to right he comes out to center. A minute 12 into the opening period as he rainbows it into the Penn State zone. Freshman year, didn't play a ton last year. It was all John Letherman. He's been great here this season. Phillips near point, shot off the clean face-off win. Booted out by DeRitter. There was traffic out front. You had McMenamin, Talvitie, and Wall the forwards. Phillips on the back end with Alex Stevens, possessed by Michigan State. Brody Stevens out to center for Gianluca Estevez. Up the far wall, chips it into the Penn State zone. Phillips back to retrieve, golfs it along the boards. Rung back near point, not out. Tommy Miller fires off the backdasher. Careens into the far corner inside the Penn State zone. Wall hands it back for Phillips, and the senior out to his own line for McMenamin. Exit feed neutral zone. Sprinting Kevin Wall stood up at the Spartan line, denied by Tommy Miller. Up the far boards, Nash Nienhaus clears his own zone. Spartans now throw it right back into their own right. Pitched right back in by Mason Snell. Christian Krieger is hampered there. Now he's going to haul out to center. Lead past Penn State line. Brody Stevens, a wind and a drive, alone in the near circle. Kicked out, right pad save. Oscar Audio, and Penn State rainbows back to the Spartan zone. Spartans D-to-D there. There's a hard forecheck pressure and an errant pass into the Penn State. Talvitie attacking zone. Face-off was tied up and one-handed out to center by Brody Stevens. The Penn State line, A.J. Hodges, whacked out of there by Jimmy Dow Jr. in his own zone. Penn State coughs it up, far circle, knifing atop the goal crease. Mueller, shot, stoned, Audio, a wind, Hodges a drive. His shot was blocked in the far circle by Talvitie. So Penn State dodging a bullet there. Here comes Kevin Wall trying to scoot the puck out to center. He does. Lost control, though, by Penn State. Right off Wall at his own line. He's going to zip into the Spartan zone, and a long shot from the things it past Bell out to center ice. Good, sir. Backhands it back into Penn State territory as Penn State finishes the change. 10:45 left first period. Nittany Lions right to left with a 1-0 lead. Flying through center, weaving Talvitie. Far wing pass, Wall back, Talvitie below the far circle. Shot, save, rebound, Karams out front. There was chaos there in front of the goal crease, and Michigan State hammers it out of harm's way. It's rainbowed into the Penn State zone. Knuckles towards Audio, steers aside as A.J. Hodges again was driving the goal. Seems like a big addition to the Spartan lineup here today. His first game being played since December 20th against Notre Dame. Puck is tied up at center, pinballs around in front of the benches, scooped up by McMenamin, scurries into the Spartan zone, erased by Nienhaus, elevated back to center off the paw of DeNaples, and Paul DeNaples swats a backhand into the Spartans. Near wing Pilowitz reels it in, top of the near circle, shot booted out to Ritter off the end boards. Pilowitz has created a few scoring chances here in the first. Through center, good sir, he was almost leveled by Aarne Talvitie. Sternshine goes to the bench, didn't play the puck, and then Matson overskates the puck, trying to capitalize in the Penn State zone. Talvitie goes back to the Spartan line, tries to dart into the zone. He's erased. Michigan State trouble at center. Connor McMenamin has it tied up. This line's so good defensively for Penn State. They can score too off the heel of McMenamin at the Spartan stripe. Red line, far wing Stevens wristed into the Spartan zone. As Spartan lost a stick, it was broken in fact. 7:20 left first period. Penn State 1, Michigan State nothing on Bell's second of the year at 4:45. Scott, and now a second try to get it through. Gallagher skates out to center. He was hampered on the play, fell down, and Talvitie denies at his own line. Spartans change. It's a 2-on-2. Talvitie darts in near circle, shot off the stick.
And caught the stick of Krieger.
Michigan State controls out of its own zone. Dennis Sasana meandering through center, navigating to the Penn State line. Nothing's there. Jimmy Dow Jr. behind the Penn State net. The outlet feed to Kevin Wall. Wall, far wing. McMenamin angles it around one. McMenamin far circle in tight. Shot to Ritter. The save. The rebound tucked back on. Trying to get the stuff in at the near post from Dowd. Then a far point shot blocked off a body. Maybe hit to Ritter. McMenamin winds it down low. Talvitie again. Back far point. Dowd walks the line. Dowd dancing. Center point. Shot off a leg. Soars. Spartan line. 50 seconds left, first period, 1-1 game. Evan Bell retreating in his own zone, blind backhand across. Dowd collects, comes back to Bell between the circles in his own zone. An outlet at center, and in on goal it goes.
It's by him on the dot.
Near circle, won it clean. Snell near point. Snell is going to toss it off the end boards, bounces side of the goal. And now it's taken by Kevin Wall. Reeled in, Talvitie back far point, strolling the line. Shot through traffic, and it...
To Ritter.
Face off to Ritter's left. 30 seconds left in the first. 1-1. Goals by Evan Bell for Penn State. Charlie Combs from APAP and Sasana for Michigan State. And the puck is flung down into the Penn State zone. Bounced on goal. Audio blockers out into the far corner. 16 seconds left. Penn State controls out of its own zone. And it's hoisted across near wing. Mason Snell at center. Curls across the Spartan line. Snell weaves into the slot. Snell jammed free. McMenamin overskates. Fires towards the goal. It was blocked out front. That went off of Tommy Miller right in front of his goal. APAP controls the period. His own goal. Berger, a precarious little knife move back behind his net. Flings it along for McMenamin. Knifes around one. McMenamin skating through center. Scurries to the far wing. McMenamin, Spartan zone. Bolts up the far wing. Looks for an outlet. Out front. Saucers in it. Could not connect with Aarne Talvitie between the dots. Charlie Combs is there. Intercepted at the blue line by McMenamin. Talvitie far.
It did go 5-hole. Just trying to squeeze those pads together and dribble through.
Face-off win Talvitie, far point, shot, Phillips, blocked out front, hovers into the air. The 2010 Stanley Cup, and you'll have your answer. Bell was the only person who knew it went in at first. He was the one celebrating behind the Spartan goal. I have the feeling Flyers fans will not be hurrying over to find that video. And State controls in its own zone. Clayton Phillips now back behind his goal. Hands for Paul DeNaples. Junior defenseman out to center. Connects with McMenamin. Flies across the red line. Pass near wing Wall. Into the Spartan zone. Near circle. Drive. Swallowed in. Small rebound.
At the point, trying to keep that puck in. Went to shoot it and just fanned on it. Ended up behind him.
Penn State out of its own zone. Wall deflects it between the rings. Good back check there by Josh Nodler inside his own zone. Sophomore nearly stripped by Wall, but protected the goal. Penn State end boards. McMenamin, one on free by Penn State. Wall throws it back far point. A drive! Bell off the right pad of DeRitter. The rebound controlled. Wall at the end boards to our right. Penn State on the attack here. Wall, Talvitie, and McMenamin. McMenamin's out front. Wall was
Limoges off to the left of Drew DeRitter.
Why not? He has 4 power play goals on the year to lead the team. Second unit out there now. It's Dowd from the near point. Strolls up the near boards. Jimmy Dowd leaves it back for Kevin Wall. Wall across Talvitie, top of the far circle. Talvitie tucks it back. Wall. Wall into his skates. Reels it in. Strolls up the far boards now. Wall to the forehand. Wall in tight. Shuffles. Side of the goal. Stuffed on. Sternshine off the stick of DeRitter. 28 seconds left on the power play in a 1-1 game. 14:30 left second period. Penn State surveying, attacking to our right. Talvitie, far point. Talvitie knifes top of the far circle. Joshua hampering him there. Talvitie spins back to the line, tosses it off to Dowd. He'll wind and drive. It's blocked and kicked back to center. Dowd has to hurry back for it. A Penn State power play that is 9 of its last 26. A chance here with the Spartans changing, and Penn State a 4-on-2. Talvitie drops it back, centered. Wall out front. Talvitie, he scores! Aarne Talvitie, the tap-in, and Penn State takes a 2-1 lead. With 14:03 to go in the second period, the Spartans go for a change. Back comes Penn State. Tic-tac-toe on the 4-on-2. Wall from between the rings, and Talvitie a forehand stuff into DeRitter's right, and Penn State goes in front 2-1. To the Penn State zone, Estevez with Stevens driving the goal. He was canceled out front by Mason Snell. Penn State's playing with a lot more confidence defensively here in the last few games as the Spartans wind it down low. Nothing develops. Christian Berger starts the rush. Couldn't be flagged by Talvitie and knuckled back into the Penn State zone by the Spartans. Still touch up. Here come the Nittany Lions negotiating out of his own zone. It's Berger. Lead pass to the Spartan line. Nothing there for McMenamin. Michigan State right to left in the green. At the red stripe at center. Pickpocketed by McMenamin. Could not find Talvitie. Up the near boards. Jammed on free. The Penn State line, Haskins looks to excavate. Talvitie ties it up, flings it neutral zone. McMenamin trying to dance around Miller, goes off the stick, and in on goal. DeRitter has to come out and play it with his stick to his right. McMenamin far corner, centers. Talvitie pried on free out front by Nash Nienhuis. The freshman D to the line, backhands it into the Spartan zone. Chasing after it near corner, McMenamin. Now it's Wall, bolting to the end dasher. Estevez gets it out of his own end, finds Brody Stevens. He'll fly through center. Stevens now backhands it into the Penn State zone. Dowd and APAP give chase, and Dowd able to steer it away from the forechecking APAP. Now Bell pestered, but supported by Kevin Wall. Sophomore forward, Hurricanes draft pick from left to right, pass far wing, and here comes Penn State left to right into the Spartan zone. McMenamin far halfboards, drops it Wall. Wall will wind it off the skate of McMenamin, gets it back far circle, weaves in, shot Wall wide. Wall back out front, top of the far circle, a drive by Mel, screeches wide. Careens back, top of the near circle, down, shot redirected, Talvitie, score! Kevin Wall out front, traffic there, the shot by Jimmy Dowd Jr. redirected on its way in, and Kevin Wall has the goal for Penn State. Play. Charlie Combs in for cross-checking at 14-21. They're 1-for-1 off the draw. Dowd lets it fly, save to Ritter. He covers.
There was a guy right in his shooting lane, but it ends up leading to the Penn State goal on a 4-on-2.
Spartans win it, hammered the length of the ice by Tommy Miller, elevating it past Jimmy Dowd. 4 forwards, 1D with you this unit. Wall, Talvitie, Sternshine, McMenamin, and Dowd. The 5 in the white, left to right, it's Dowd, bolting through center, across the red line. He hammers it into the Spartan zone, deflected off the stick, retrieved near corner by Miller, but immediately greeted by a couple of Nittany Lions. Out of the corner, it's Wall, back near point Dowd, slides it top of the far circle, Talvitie, slot back door, Wall, angles it through the goal crease. He had both Sternshine and McMenamin there, looking for the stuff in. Kept by Talvitie, slings it behind the goal, Sternshine, walks into the far corner, back to Talvitie, top the far circle, attacking to our right. 1:15 left on the power play. Slings it back. Michigan State's only scored 3 or more 4 times all year. Here comes Penn State. Aarne Talvitie, the steal shorthanded, 1-on-1 into the Spartan zone. Dangles below the near circle. Shot blocker save. DeRitter in tight from a tight angle. On the backhand shot from Aarne Talvitie, DeRitter kicked it back out with the blocker. Michigan State controls, 2 trailers through center on the power play, right to left into the Penn State zone. 2:23 to go, second period. Penn State leads 3-1 on a pair of goals in this frame. Combs, top of the near circle, center point Sasana, slings it near ring, gathered in by Nadler, who's back to us. Nadler just tosses it towards the slot, canceled out by Penn State. Talvitie couldn't secure at center. McMenamin, I think, was hoping. It had just elapsed, and the face-off into Penn State, and Estevez wipes out off the draw. It's jammed underneath him, wedged free by Penn State. Michigan State controls, though. Near point, Cole Krieger. So it's 3-1, Penn State. Booted free off the draw, controlled Spartans, stash point to point. Tommy Miller couldn't keep far point. Kevin Wall harassing at center. He hurries it back into the Penn State end. Penn State will regroup. One last rush here, 25 seconds left in period 2. A good period it's been for Penn State. They have the 2 tallies. 3-1 Nittany Lions lead, banked out to center, 3-on-2. Here comes Talvitie in neutral zone, pass near wing Wall. Wall near circle surveys, tries to go out front for Talvitie, erased, hands near circle Wall, kicked it into the corner. Cole Krieger with 8 in the period, comes back into the near corner, and Michigan State controls. Escaping their own zone, Estevez to the Penn State line, crunched by Talvitie, right to left. Limoges chases Christian Krieger deep. He works with Dennis Sasana defensively. Limoges pesters near half-boards. Kevin Wall has the seal, marches below the near ring. In tight, shot, save to Ritter. The rebound back far point, corralled by Jimmy Dowd. Winds, drive, slap shot off the end boards. And it kicks back up the near boards, burrowing in Wall. Talvitie keeps, hands for McMenamin off a body, back out to center ice. Almost a minute into the third. 3-1, Penn State leads, and the Nittany Lions must touch up. Bell, Talvitie, and Wall, the goal scorers for Penn State. A couple of points in this one for both Talvitie and Wall. Squeezing into the Penn State zone, Combs. Penn State, though, great strip by Evan Bell at his own line. Nearly had a breakout the other way. Now he's retreating in his own zone and starts the Penn State rush. A 4-on-3. McMenamin launches down into the Spartan zone, heads off to change. Talvitie, the forecheck pressure, and Penn State off the bench, nearly kept alive in the Spartan zone by Xander Lampa, freshman forward. Instead, it's through to center as far as the Penn State stripe. At the hash marks, DeNaples guides it back near point, not out. Lewandowski gobbles it up, slings it near corner. Nadler forks it out front, gloved away there by Kevin Wall, deep in his own zone. Pried back to center by Wall, smacked as far as the red stripe. Spartans D to D, left to right they come, nothing develops. They'll start a change. Almost 4 minutes have gone by here in the third. Penn State the 3-1 advantage. Lewandowski takes a tumble at the Penn State line. Tons of traffic there. DeNaples at his own line, right to left. Angled at the red stripe at center. From right to left down into the Spartan zone. Nash Nienhaus away from the forechecking Talvitie. Out to center Lewandowski. Berger retreats at his own line. Curls and fires a pass to Snell, who deflects through center. Nothing there. Nicolas Mueller, the sophomore forward at the red stripe, breaks up the Penn State rush. Spartans circle to circle in their own zone. Fumble the puck, and it's stolen at center by Aarne Talvitie. 1-on-2. I'll take Aarne in that matchup. Michigan State does there for over a minute. McMenamin, though, the pickpocket at his own line on Dennis Sasana. A scrum, and Penn State does prevail. It's rainbowed through center. Phillips was looking for Talvitie. McMenamin supports, but Combs comes into the Penn State zone near wing. To our right, muscles towards the goal. Power move out front. Shot in tight. And a chest save by Audio. And the Spartans caught a little deep here. Penn State the other way. Clayton Phillips knifes across the Spartan line. Slot, hands below the far circle. Talvitie too hot to handle. Talvitie peels below the near ring to her left. Cycles down low. Wall near corner. Shrugs on free. 1-on-2. Sasana rescues behind his goal. McMenamin knocks him down. Back far point. Gathered in. Berger off the bench. Fires and blockered out by the goaltender. Lead pass. Here comes Michigan State to the Penn State line. A.J. Hodges had a step. Fires and Audio makes the save on a late breakaway there. Berger hampered him defensively. Penn State comes back.
Line when they were all together, that was a dominant line if there ever was one.
Taro Hiroshi and Patrick Kodorenko joining Mitchell Lewandowski, who's the remaining of the three. Michigan State lost its top scorer and 4 of its top 6 from last year. It's a pretty young team. Outletted to the Penn State line. Sasana angles towards the goal. Erased nicely, though, by Mason Snell back here in his own zone. And Penn State flings it back from right to left down into the Spartan zone. Not enough on it for icing. Brody Stevens back controls, banks it up the glass, trampolines to center. At the Penn State line, secured by Jimmy Dowd Jr. His dad, Jim Sr., was a teammate and a Stanley Cup winner with the New Jersey Devils with Danton Cole, the Spartan head coach. He's canceled out at the half boards inside the Spartan zone, but Penn State possesses. Back far point, chip towards the goal, wide by Kevin Wall. Just trying to get, I think, a redirect out front there. Penn State's made some heady plays here in the hockey game as well.
Yeah, it's, not a lot of whistles.
3-1, felt comfortable, but now a little bit of concern, nervous energy as Penn State won the draw, couldn't clear. Sasana, a blast, tipped out front by Mueller wide. Penn State belts it the length of the ice. Right, Eric, you feeling a little tension now?
Just a little bit. This is a good opportunity for Michigan State. Their best chance in this third was a breakaway by Hodges, but Audio was able to make the save. And if they're going to get back into this, they need a power play goal here.
Penn State 25 seconds into the kill. Spartans gain the attacking zone. Charlie Combs is out there. Talvitie end boards, fails to clear, bounces slot. Combs pestered. Talvitie shoves it back to center. Combs will race back to his own line. Gravel up Snell Minor. Penn State 3, Michigan State 1. 6:30 remains in the third period here from Pagula. It's the third power play of the game for Michigan State. Talvitie and McMenamin the forwards. Stevens and Naples the defenseman. Penn State 3 back at its own line. Michigan State coughs it up at the Penn State stripe. Penn State couldn't clear. Gallagher, though, couldn't reel it in at the near half boards. Penn State rips it up the boards, ringing it around and down as Naples clears. They'll make a 4-man change. 15 seconds from Sternshine. His teammates change on both sides. 4:30 left, third period. Penn State leads 3-1. Thrown in off the high glass behind Audio. Penn State possesses. Out to center, McMenamin. Bolts up the near wing. Darts along the wall. Slams on the brakes at the hash marks. Winds it down low, far corner wall. A couple of points today. Looking for Talvitie. Lassos in, top of the far ring. Fished back free by Michigan State. A.J. Hodges pesters Talvitie as Penn State regroups at center. Possessing here, circle to circle in their own zone. The Spartans now with 2 forecheckers as the outlet feed was errant for Talvitie into Spartan territory. 3:55 remains third period. Penn State 3, Michigan State 1. A pretty uneventful third period. That's A-okay, though, if you're Penn State. Leading by 2. Up the far boards, Christian Krieger stashes it back deep, Penn State zone. That slammed along to the near half-dasher. Dowd couldn't wedge it out. Off the skate, detected quickly by Michigan State. Leaks back to center. And the Spartans control with 3:35 left. We're watching DeRitter now with 3:30 left in his team, trailing by 2 as Penn State sends it deep into the Spartan zone. It skitters deep. There's no icing. When do you think DeRitter, now curling back at his own line, Lampa, lead pass Limoges, tips it down into the Spartan zone, but up and out. Second frame. It's been a good 200-foot game for Penn State. They win the draw. Spartan goal is empty. McMenamin couldn't excavate his zone. Lewandowski near circle fumble, swatted back top the near circle. Point to point, top the far ring, slap back near circle. Nodler comes across, skitters over his stick, and in the near corner to Naples Pester. 6 on 5 for the Spartans. 3-1 Penn State. 65 seconds left, third period. Penn State by 2 and a minute left. Nodler's side of the goal. Lewandowski out front looking for the stuff from Apath. He failed to connect. Back behind the goal. Lewandowski tucks it out front again. No one's there. Whacked out of the corner, but controlled by Lewandowski. 50 seconds left. Spartans down 2. They need to hurry. Far corner, cycled. High slot, all the way back center point. Controlled Sasana. Off Lewandowski near circle. Surveys, flings in front.